Alright, so as you can maybe see, it's been a few days. There's leaves all over the skinny now. But we're getting back to this project. So the plan for today is to address some of the issues that I talked about the last time we were here. Specifically, we're going to replace these hooks with their pointy bits that I'm a little bit worried about either catching skin or a bike part and making a mess. We're going to replace those with just some regular old lag bolts. They should hold these loops just fine and actually might hold things better. Hello, phone. So we're going to replace those with lag bolts. Then, because the center here tends to hit the ground when you ride over it, I'm going to see if I can tighten things up a little bit here, move these a little closer together. These two boards have a particularly wide gap between them. So I'm hoping that will help bring the whole thing up a little bit so we're not hitting the ground. Worst case scenario, I can always dig out a little bit underneath here and give it some more clearance, but I'm going to start out trying this. Speaking of tightening things up, I got myself some turnbuckles. So I'm going to splice these in underneath into the cabling, and that will allow me to be a little bit more precise with my tensioning. I can probably tension them more using the turnbuckles than I could just kind of guessing with the clamps. So hopefully that will also help the whole structure be just a little bit more stable. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a movable skinny, but it's not fun if it's rocking all over the place and hitting the ground and all of that. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. Alright, time to start cutting. So what I'm going to do is cut the cables in the middle, well it's not the middle, but someplace that I think I'll be able to access the turnbuckles pretty easily. And I'm going to cut those, then I'm going to put another one of these. There's already one of these on either end of the cable. So I'll put one of these on either end of the cut, and then those will be able to loop over the hooks on the turnbuckle, and we should be good to go. So let's try it. One of these things is not like the other. So, one of my clamps, not the same size as all of the other ones. Definitely came out of the same bin, but you can maybe see very different sizes. Yeah, get out of the way. So, yeah, doesn't fit. I tried very hard to squeeze my size wire into the smaller clamp. It was not happening. So, I'm not going to leave just the zip tie on it. What I'm thinking I will do is the zip tie will hold it for the time being, and then I think I'm going to throw the vice grips, the little vice grips on it when I actually get out there. Hopefully that will hold it long enough to let us take a test ride. Obviously not a long-term solution. At some point I need to get the proper clamp, but that store is a half-hour drive away from here. So if I go get it now, it'll be dark. So yeah, we'll see if this even works. It may fall apart as soon as I put tension on it, but we'll make sure to test it before we ride it. All right, back out there. Alrighty, well, that's a partial success. Everything is put together and seems to be holding pretty well, including my sketchy vice grip one over here. So we'll see if that holds. As you may have seen on the time lapse, I did bounce on this a little bit. It seems to be pretty nice and solid here. I can stand on it, and it's not immediately throwing me off balance, so that's progress. It's also not hitting the ground, as you may or may not be able to see here. So that's good. So I think that means, also, I did go ahead and tack the entrance ramp down. That's not a permanent solution, obviously. It's really ugly. But I still haven't decided for sure if I want to go to a 2x8. I am hoping that maybe with it being a little bit more stable, actually attached permanently or semi-permanently, it won't feel quite so bad. But we'll see. Got to give it a few test rides. Still do need to address the final ramp as well so that I don't end up endoing when I hit one of those side pieces. But I think this is ready to give it a test ride. So let's go grab the bike and do that. Feels pretty good. Now for real. Or not. Oh yeah, piece of cake. Yeah. Feeling nice. Well, I hope that looked as good as it felt, because it felt fantastic. I think probably having the on-ramp permanently attached helped a lot. Having this all just be tighter and not hit the ground felt really good. I was afraid maybe it would be more unstable without the ground there kind of to keep it from rocking, but not a problem. Felt great. And I wasn't even that sketched out by the awful down ramp. So yeah, obviously still some more to do. I still need a permanent solution to the entrance there. I need to fix the clamp that is currently a vice grip, and I really need a more permanent solution for this. But this is riding fantastic. I would absolutely ride it in this condition. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a follow-up and fix all of these little issues. I will certainly be fixing the clamp, but we'll see how that goes. In any case, I would call this project a smashing success at this point. Didn't go quite the way we were planning. Yeah, very much not the way I was planning, but I think it worked out really well. I'm really happy with this, and I am not nearly as afraid to ride it as I was when it was just rubber and it was ejecting you with prejudice off the side. So yeah, really good result, and we'll come back and fix this later. All right, it's time to wrap this project up. So as you can see, it's been quite a while since the last time we were here. I've actually ridden this quite a bit in that time, and it's riding pretty well. I haven't done very much with it since then because, as I said, it's been riding well. Two things. I did finally attach this so that it's more in line with everything. That's not a great way of doing it, but it works. So I'm pretty much leaving that alone. And then the other thing that I have done, and let's see, where's the easiest way to see this? Maybe down here. So where the cable runs underneath here, can you see that? Yes, there we go. So where the cable runs under here, previously I had just put it on the inside of the bolts and was relying on the extra bolt sticking out here to kind of hold it in place. I found out that when this bounces as you ride over it, the cable was actually bouncing over the bolts, and obviously that's not great because if the cable comes out, then the whole thing gets really unstable. So what I did, as you can see here, is I just took another nut and another washer and kind of sandwiched the cable in between them. And by doing that, it can't really get out very easily. I mean, I suppose if it got pushed in, but that doesn't really happen when you ride over it. So it's not likely to happen by accident. And it's been working really well. So I'm extremely happy with how that turned out. As you can see, the animals are also extremely happy with it. Never seen that before, but then again, this is kind of the first time I've been out here when it had snow on it. So, yeah, so that's all we've done since the last time we were out here. Things that I would still maybe like to do, obviously, down ramp is still kind of sketchy, but it hasn't really been a problem, so I haven't messed with it. You know, it works and it doesn't require any more effort. So I'm leaving it alone for now. Maybe someday I'll do something a little bit more permanent and less sketchy and not going to kill you if you happen to slide off the ramp right at the wrong spot. But for the moment, I'm just really careful to make sure that if I get to that point in the ramp, I'm nice on balance and I can get over it without falling off. If I think I may not make it, I just stop. So, you know, it's another one of those things. At a public bike park, that would never fly. At my own private property, you know, it works. The other thing is I may at some point get a 2x8 to put for the ramp onto it. The 2x6 is a little bit narrow, and as you can see, I have slid off of that at least once. That was a particularly stupid mistake. I just completely missed the ramp and basically got edge trapped along the side of the ramp up. So yeah, that was not great. But the nice thing is that with the narrow 2x6, if you do make it up to 2x6, you're pretty much guaranteed to be lined upright for the 2x8 flexible skinny. So it's not all bad. I may or may not do anything with it. For the moment, it works. So that's pretty much it for, let's see, one other thing. That last post down there seems to have tilted a little bit that way. I don't know if you can see that, but I can definitely see it from here, and you can kind of see that the braces underneath there are no longer straight. I'm pretty sure they weren't like that when I put them in, so I think that's another good sign that it's bent. So at some point I'm going to have to do something with that, probably. I also need to tighten it up a little bit. It's sagging far enough in the middle that it actually hits the ground when you ride over it again. So at some point I would like to kind of tighten everything up, probably pull that whole back post kind of back out and try to fill in behind it and shore it up a little bit. But again, I've been riding this a whole lot as it is, and it rides well, it's fun, it's challenging, so there's not a whole lot that needs to be done. So I think we're going to call it for this project. Maybe I'll do another video as I make some of these other changes down the line, particularly the one where I'm pulling the post back out, because I feel like that's probably something that other people might have to do, and so it might be interesting for them to see what I do. But otherwise, I'm really happy with how this project turned out. It's challenging, but it hasn't killed me yet, although it's come close a couple of times. And yeah, really good project. So hope you enjoyed watching this, and we'll be back probably next year, because obviously it's getting late in the year here. But we'll be back next year with some more projects, and I have some other ideas for stuff I want to do back here. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching.